farmers were looking for pickers, so the government allowed, the Farm Bureau allowed the internees to sign up to work on potato farms or cut sugar beets. And so then you had a chance to get into town. But I don't think at that point there was, I think the hysteria was highest on the West Coast because they were closest to Japan and they were subject to possible bombings.
I think we have a question here.
I've had the opportunity to be able to go to the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp in Poland, and I was wondering if you had any comparisons between the concentration camps there in Europe with the internment camps here.
Well, I think Alice.
I wasn't sure what you meant, but when I went to Dachau and looked at the camps, I thought it could have been us in a way. I mean, we had it better, you know, but why was the question? I mean, we didn't do anything, and neither did the Jewish people in Europe. So why do these things happen? I mean, why do people look at you and say, you're different than I am, you know? In my small town, we didn't have too much prejudice unless you were dirty, smelly, or a thief or something. When I would walk down the street, an old man would come up to me and he'd say, I know you, you're the smart girl, I saw your name in the newspaper. Being a small town, when you had all A's, you got your name in the newspaper. And so, never did he say, oh, you're Japanese, that's why you're smarter and things. So, it was just, everybody just sort of melted into one group. And
Yes.
Did your parents tell you right away why you were leaving?
Oh, I think we
were all 20 or so. Yeah, at that point, I think we younger people took over the family management because our parents were old and they couldn't speak the language as well. So we younger people took over and made all the arrangements. And when we went to camp, it's if anything like that happens to you, your attitude is going to make a big difference. I mean, we said, we didn't do anything bad, so why should we suffer?
All right.
When you joined the 442nd, was it motivated by your patriotism towards the country, or was it a way to get out of the camp?
When I joined the 442nd,
what was it? Was it a desire to be patriotic, or were you more desired to get out of the camp?
I think my desire was only that I got drafted and I had to go. I mean, it wasn't a choice of being a conscientious objector or anything. I was willing to serve. But we had no choice outside of intelligence school or the infantry.
Well, one of my girlfriends from Hawaii joined the WWII, the Japanese, you know, the women's groups. And she was stationed down in the south, and she got on the bus, and she went to the back and sat down, and the driver came up and said, you can't sit, so you've got to move. And she said, what for? She said, well, that's just for the blacks. Well, here she was in a uniform. What does she care about black or white or anything? And she said it was so ridiculous to have a bus section just for the blacks and whites. But even when we went to Tampere and we saw the toilets, it said men and gentlemen. The men were supposed to be for the black jockeys, I guess. They're not gentlemen.
Well, yeah, during the 40s, the South was very segregated. When I got drafted at Fort Douglas, Utah, they sent us by train to Mississippi. And we were a bunch of inductees. The train stopped at a station in the South. To go to the bathroom, you got off and there it was, colored in white. And we didn't know which section to go to. We weren't white We weren't colored, but they always told us to go to the white side. But that's kind of ironic, isn't it? But there was definite segregation down there that was terrible. It was just, blacks were in a different world. I think even today, as much as the Japanese have gone through, I don't think the Japanese have gone through anything that the blacks have gone through and are still going through.
I have a question here. It says, was the apology and payment of $20,000 enough for you to forgive and forget? The Japanese American Citizens League and many groups said that the evacuation was, not right, and we should be compensated. So they passed a law, and they said everyone would get $20,000 payment. Well, I don't know what you would do with your $20,000, but we felt that it wasn't something that you could just go out and spend and have a fling. So we put our $20,000 into a college fund for our grandchildren, figuring that, well, maybe they would learn a better world too. What would you do with $20,000? Buy a car or something. And I said, at least this is America. There was some form of reparation, whereas in some other countries, too bad. That's life.
We have about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to ask for final questions from people who want to make sure they get their question asked.
How many kids do you have? My wife has 2 children, and I have 1. Separate. My son is 50.
My son is 65.
My
My daughter is
63. And she has 3.
I was 92.
She has 3 grandchildren.
Graduated from Clark's College and was with
The question, Matthew.
What was the food like in the camp?
What was
the food like in the camp?
Well, the food, when you first went in, the food was furnished by the government. So it wasn't too good. There was a lot of camp. But in Idaho,